My name is Dennis Potoff. I have the honor of serving as the Dean of the School of Education at Nevada State College. First slide, just want to start with this slide, the bold, the great, the state. You know, it is an amazing story. In 2000, we just celebrated our 15th anniversary. This last weekend, 2002, we had 170 students. This year, we're about 4,300. Second fastest growing four-year school in the United States over the last 10 years. So it's a great story, and part of that story is the School of Education. First thing, I think the most important thing to tell you is that this is an exciting time for the School of Ed at Nevada State. Our college has gone all in for teacher ed and for the School of Ed. And there's a lot of evidence of that in some of the things we're doing. But couple things. We believe we need to do more in terms of helping with the teacher pipeline. We believe we can do more and are already beginning to do more. And so that's an important part of it. The second thing I'd say is on the short run, you listen to the comments of the Linda Darling Hammond as an example today. The long-term picture, the possibility that Nevada and the United States need to make major changes in some of the ways we think about this certainly are compelling. On the short run, as we work through these years, we're convinced it's a multifaceted challenge, and I want to show you just some of the things we're doing to address that. Really quickly where we are, first of all, one of the couple unique features in Nevada State, one thing we do that most institutions don't do is we require all of our candidates to pass all the exams before they graduate. So they all graduate fully licensure ready. I think that's a strategy that's really powerful for us, worked really well. Another thing, as Tom mentioned, the state is gearing up all programs to really provide special training for students, for working with students for whom English is not their first language. And then also just the diversity of our student body is an important part. We've come closest to mirroring the composition of the Clark County School District in terms of our student population, which is another major plus, perceived plus for the district and for the state. Really quickly, programs we have, we're building out programs. We're building a college. Right now, elementary education and then elementary special education. We have the battery of secondary programs, and then this undergraduate speech pathology program. We're building a college. Next up, three things on this list. We are well underway into delivering a master's degree in speech pathology. This was unanimously approved by the NSHE board recently. We are in the process of getting ASHA approval. Very exciting for us and for our campus and for our state. Nevada has the lowest number of speech pathologists per capita in the United States, and we don't have a program in the South. So this is very exciting for us. Also moving forward with plans on an inclusive early childhood program and working on a bilingual education program. So that's just a tip of where we're going. Quickly, an overview of where we are over these early years. Right now, graduated 733 teachers in our history, 289 additional post-bac that finished their programs with us. So over 1,000 now, over 1,000 School of Education graduates. Right now, we're averaging 85 to 95 a year. And we have 9 faculty right now that we're building out our faculty also. The stats on the salaries, just to say we're growing them for Nevada. Almost all of our students come from Southern Nevada. Almost all of them go to work in the Clark County School District. So it's a very local operation in that way. Now I'm going to talk about, last thing I want to do is tell you just some things about reducing barriers. Number one, premise, we need to grow more of our own teachers. Nevada needs to grow more of its own teachers. That's not a brilliant thought. We know that. We're unusual in that way. Clark County would agree with that certainly also. One of the things we're really involved in is we've gone all in on teacher academy projects. Right now, 4 high schools, by next year 4 high schools that have joined us in this collaboration. Some of the features of it are some dual credit coursework, some education coursework, We're getting private support from the Rogers Foundation to support scholarships for students in these high schools to take some of these courses, and also building out this CTE alignment with the new CTE education and training program. Excited about this. We think it has great potential for a build out. In my mind, every high school in Nevada should have a teacher academy. That's what we need. Every high school in Nevada should have a teacher academy. The Teachers Now campaign, some of you are aware, where we have a planning grant from the legislature that was much appreciated. We're planning, moving forward, the planning of a new school of education building that would include, among other things, a speech-language clinic and an early childhood center to serve the community, and scholarship funds and funds for new programs. So that's a very important campaign for us. Reducing barriers at the campus level, really working hard in our secondary areas to create dual program options. They can major in history and history education, English and English education. We got those two already built. Math we're well into, and science is next. So a student could come to our campus and double major and be ready to teach, or be ready to go into that field someplace else. But that's the UTeach model nationally, but doing it at a local level, really important part of our secondary build out. Really working on targeting students on our campus that are in over-enrolled programs. We have a very large nursing population. They can't all get into nursing school. Really great opportunity for some to go into speech pathology or the sciences or elementary education. And also really working hard on supporting our students in these national exams. A major initiative on our campus is the Praxis Core initiative, which is really helping our students to improve their pass rates for those exams. You're probably familiar with the HSI grant. We were one of 20 nationally awarded, $2.7 million over 5 years. The focus is on increasing the pipeline supply of teachers of Hispanic descent. Program is really a campus-wide initiative. A lot of work being done with faculty, with students, with programs. You know, one of the barriers is just the 2-year, 4-year barrier. We are doing a lot of work with CSN, TMCC, and WNC. We've developed seamless, over the last 18 months, developed seamless articulations with all of those in elementary and special education. We're tackling secondary now. We think we're an option that can help in all parts of the state as a part of our statewide mission. And, you know, the NSHE collaborations, I think Tom spoke to it well. Just to say the deans, I really am fortunate to work with some really great deans of these other schools. We're doing a lot of this together. It's all hands on deck for all of us. All of us, all hands on deck. We need to do more. And then really questions. I went through that pretty fast. If you have any questions, willing to talk.
Questions? Yes, Ms. Miller.
Hi, thank you. What you said about requiring the students to take all of the state exams and all of those national tests before, which is, I mean, I'm at a loss for words to say how much I agree with that, because I've seen many of the challenges on the other end of having it later. Is there a cutoff date, like somewhere within the program at the beginning, or is it before they can actually apply to the School of Ed? When is those cutoff for all of successful passage for all of those?
Well, there's great question. Thank you very much. 2 major exams. First of all, the Praxis Core, which our state requires. Our students also could actually take the CBEST, the California test. Nevada allows that. The majority of states use the Praxis Core. Mass majority of our students are doing the core. We've built out a major program to support that. In fact, we have Praxis Core labs we've built, and they're going to be a part of the required curriculum effective next year. Incoming freshmen will take the Praxis Core labs as preparation. That's the first gateway. The second gateway is those exit exams. All of our students have at least 1 and often 2 exit exams. We do not let them do their student teaching or their internship until they've passed that. Now, for me, that's easy. I was in another state where initially we didn't have that rule. I don't like calls from parents who say, you have 4 years, they have a 3.4 GPA, and they can't pass the exam. I don't like those kinds of questions. I also don't like the idea that they could get all the way through our program and then not be able to teach. That's a disaster. From my mind, that's a disaster.
Quick follow-up. And so with that, as you mentioned, the student teaching, because I've seen experiences where people actually can't pass student teaching, which, again, after all the schooling and all that kind of stuff, it's at that point, maybe this just isn't for you. Do you have any of those challenges where you have students that aren't able to, I'm not talking about people who drop the program, but who literally can't finish or aren't successful in student teaching?
Well, yes, every campus has some of those. And it's always a really sad thing. You know, I think Darlingham and Linda really challenged us to keep working on more and more early field experiences, giving them practicum experiences during their program that really allow them to develop. They'll be more ready as a first-year teacher, but they'll also be more comfortable and have had the chance to develop those skills before that last internship. And I think that's part of great teacher ed programming nationally. There's a lot of work for us to do in all of our programs in terms of just making sure they're as ready as they can. Not everybody can be a teacher. Not everybody's good at teaching. We know that. It's true for every occupation.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Other questions? Okay.
Appreciate the opportunity. Thanks for what you're doing.